Hi everybody, Kate here. Today's Spotfire session is brought to you from sunny Melbourne, and I am sitting on the porch of our eldest daughter's house where we have spent a weekend spending time with our grandchildren and our daughter and husband, and we went and saw Kronos Quartet last night as part of the Melbourne festival, and they were amazing, so it's been a good time. So today I want to talk to you about something I did the other day which is absolutely gross, and we cleaned out the air conditioner that was in our kitchen, and it was already looking a bit grotty on the outside. Well, it was actually looking quite grotty on the outside because it's in the kitchen, so it picks up everything. But when we opened it up to clean the insides of this air conditioner, we were horrified because it was absolutely gross. It was filthy. And it just made me think about how businesses and workplaces can behave a bit like that at the same time. We can, on the outside, things can look like that everything's going okay and that it looks fine and dandy and just needs a bit of touching up and it will be fine. But actually, when you dig a bit deeper, you can find that it's actually not as healthy as you first thought. And I think that what often happens is that we get complacent, and we get complacent because we know what to expect, we know what it looks like, we get really comfortable in what it looks like and sounds like and feels like on a regular basis, and we go to work and we think that that's the norm and that's the best it can be. And yet I'd like to challenge that thinking and say that I think that there's always room for improvement, and there's always an opportunity to change things up and to make things cleaner and brighter and fresher. But in order to do that, we need to open things up, and we need to have a bit of a dig around and see what's going on. And teams, particularly teams that have been together for a long period of time, it's a bit like family. We start to know how to push each other's buttons. It's very comfortable, but it's not always challenging us. And so what I always think is really exciting is when you get a fresh pair of eyes looking on a team. What I often find is that conflict situations arise when somebody new comes into the team and they go, why do you do things like this? And everybody looks at them and go, well, why wouldn't we do everything like this? And they go, because you can do it better, because there's a different way of doing things. And they tend to challenge the status quo, and then that challenge, there can be conflict, because there'll be those people who love security and love knowing that this is the way that we do things and we've always done it this way. And then there'll be the new people who'll go, but why don't we look at different opportunities? Why don't we do this differently? Why don't we take on this technology? Why don't we change the structure? Why don't we do something different? So it creates a great deal of tension in the workplace, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, because the really exciting thing about conflict is that it results in innovation. When we have conflict, it helps us recognise that there's a problem, and the problem then gets us having conversations and identifying what the problem is, and then we start looking at, well, what is the best way to resolve this issue? And we start looking at new and different ways of doing things, of thinking about things, of approaching a problem. And that's really exciting, and it's really exciting. So I don't think we should be scared of conflict when somebody new arrives. I think we should say, okay, this person is alerting us to the fact that maybe there's some other ways of thinking about this problem. There's a different way of doing this, and we can do it differently. There's just been Bathurst on the weekend, and I can remember back in 1975 when my youngest brother was born, that Mum was in hospital, and up to that date we had only ever had black and white television. And then Dad came in to visit Mum, and she was watching a colour television, and he went, oh my God. Because before that, he didn't believe anybody who told him that colour television was good. And then he saw it with his own eyes, and he saw how much better television could be if you had a colour television. And suddenly, we had a colour television. And I think the same can happen in your business. It's a bit like cleaning the air conditioner. It's a bit like bringing somebody new in. You don't have to have a change of staff. You don't have to do that. You just sometimes need somebody with a fresh pair of eyes to go, hey, how's this going for you? how about we look at different ways of doing this and just sort of reviewing, is this the best way to approach this problem? Are there new and exciting ways to do what we do in this organisation? So I would like to challenge you to clean your air conditioners or clean out the way in which you normally do things, to have a look at the way in which you think about problems. There may be different and exciting ways for you to approach the problems and the day-to-day drudge in your office. Somebody asked me the other day, how do I engage our operational staff, because their job is basically working with widgets, creating widgets. How do we make that more engaging for them because they're disengaged? And they've always done it this way and they've got stuck in that routine. And I said, have you thought about gamifying the work? Have you thought about finding a way to just give it a bit of a change up, a freshness, give them something to think about that's not just the widgets they're creating? And she said, have you got any ideas about the games? And I said, I do, but maybe you should ask the people about whether they've got some ideas about how they could turn it into a game, because they know it better than anybody. We don't have to fix every problem. We just need to start thinking outside the square and looking for opportunities to make the workplace engaging, exciting, different, challenge our thinking. What is the best way to do this? Because we are always finding ways to improve the way in which we work. That's the beauty of technology and being alive in 2019. Nothing stays the same for very long at all. Anyway, I hope that's of some assistance to you. I hope you have a wonderful week. The weather is now stunning. I love this time of year because it's not cold anymore. So I will see you all again soon. Have a good one. Cheers. Bye.